All right, man. So there was only one thing we could talk about for the cold open tonight. I'm sure you've heard the news. I'm sure all the homies out there have heard the news. But Apple TV has signed on for the exclusive rights to Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere. They are pouring out the money, and so the contents of the deal, they are going to produce a series of Mistborn films. They are going to produce a Stormlight TV show, but they have the rights to the entire Cosmere, so the odds of more of that coming in are very high, especially if these other projects do well. And I think they will, because the thing that makes this deal so sweet, and what I think has like authors and fans and everything like all over the world like really just kind of jaw dropped on this, is that the level of control that Brandon has is unprecedented. Apple is pretty much just signing the checks and being like, okay, well, you're going to make a TV show. Well, we have the people who know how to shoot and all that, a TV show and produce a TV show. So, he is going to be writing and producing. He is writing the scripts himself, and he has final approval on everything, which is a level of control that is way above what like J.K. Rowling or George R.R. Martin has over their properties.
Do you think that's why he chose Apple? Because surely there was a bidding war for his IP.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, so some of his properties were tied up in film rights with Epic for a little while, because that was the thing that they were going to do, is like for the Cosmere, that's the people that make Unreal Engine. Mm-hmm. They were going to get into into bed with Brandon as far as the business goes. This is why Kelsier is in Fortnite, right? And before anything else ever happened. Yeah. And it just kind of kept falling through. Like, Epic doesn't have a movie studio arm. It's just not a thing that they have. And so, they never could make all the pieces fit together, and it really wasn't working out for either side. So the options on those rights expired. And as you and I know, like, Hollywood is fucking thirsty for original content. Yep. And so, especially stuff that already has a built-in following. And so you've got Brandon went and talked. He said he met with everybody as far as like all the big names. So we can go ahead and assume Netflix / Warner Brothers, still separate entities at this point. So he probably met with both of them. Probably Disney, Apple TV, Amazon, Paramount. That's probably it. Maybe more than that.
Yep.
And everybody wanted the rights. Now, he didn't get into specifics as far as like what others wanted to do, but he did talk about why he picked Apple TV. I'm not a fan of Apple as a company, but this is their opportunity to change my mind a little bit, just a little bit. I still ain't going to buy any of their devices, but they might get me to sign up for their streaming service. But a lot of the stuff on their streaming service is very creator focused, and I agree with that. Pluribus is on there. That's the new Vince Gilligan show. Yeah. They've got that.
Got Severance.
Severance, which is like really, really good. Shrinking, that Harrison Ford show that he's on, which is fucking hilarious. So they've got some good stuff going on over there, and they agreed to his terms as far as the control. They agreed to his vision of what he wants to do, because he has basically a Marvel Cinematic Universe level of crossover and building these stories and everything. And so he really needs a studio that's committed to that vision with him. And for them to go ahead and say, okay, we're going to do Stormlight as a premium television product. We're going to produce Mistborn films. This is pretty much everything. Brandon essentially got everything he wanted.
Yeah.
And so I think it's easy to see why he went with them. Especially with them, they have the money. Mm-hmm. and it's incredibly creator focused, and a lot of the stuff they're doing looks really good. You know, the visual quality is good. I know you haven't gotten into the Stormlight stuff yet, but there's going to be a very large amount of CGI that's needed to bring that world to life. So it's gonna be a big production, a very expensive production, and I think that's why he probably went with them.
I can definitely see that being the reason why, because I think for Brandon, money was never going to be his main concern. It was always going to be the creative focus of his material and how it's going to be handled. And I completely understand him wanting to have the full reins to his baby and not wanting to hand those off to anyone else. Do you like what the format is so far? Do you like Mistborn being made into? I'm assuming it was going to be a trilogy of movies, at least for Era 1, right? And for Stormlight being developed as a TV show. Do you think that's the best approach for those said materials?
So they haven't said trilogy, and I'm very happy about that.
Okay.
Because I'm actually hoping that they don't do a trilogy. I don't think it can be done as a trilogy well. I actually think it should be 4 films.
Oh, okay.
I think the first book should be the first movie, though, straight up, and then I would split the second 2 books across. Mild spoilers here. I'm going to keep it very brief, but I think I would do the second movie. I think I would do all of Well of Ascension leading up to the big battle at Luthadel.
Yeah.
And then I would do the actual scene from the end of that book at the well very early in the third film.
Okay.
And I would have that go until Ruin traps Vin in the cave. And that's where I would end it.
Gotcha.
On the cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, the last one would just be the Sanderlance, right?
Yeah.
It would just be balls to the wall for 2 hours. That's how I would split it up. And I hope that Brandon has also come to this conclusion.
So, I know there's no release dates or anything yet. So, I'm assuming for the next 3 to 4 years, maybe longer, we're going to be bombarded with casting suggestions and rumors. So I want to go ahead and get yours. Okay,
so the all of the I am full tilt in every corner of the Cosmere, whether it's I have my favorite Cosmere YouTubers, I have the subreddits, all of that stuff, and all of those groups are flooded with fan castings right now. The thing that annoys me the most is with Stormlight, right? On Roshar, 95% of that planet is Asian.
Okay.
And the people in the different countries run the full gamut of like kind of the skin tone, but all Asian.
Yeah.
There is one area on that planet, one small area where there are white people. And I keep seeing casting suggestions that are the whitest whites. And I don't like it at all.
Yeah, this is my shocked and surprised face.
Yeah, you don't seem ultra shocked. There's a couple characters that they could get away with a Caucasian actor. And obviously, like, I'm fine if, like, 1 or 2, like, there's a character, Taravangian, and I would love it if Viggo Mortensen played this character. Not because they're anything similar to Aragorn. As a matter of fact, it's because they are quite different. And I think that it would kind of lull the audience into a false sense of security that this person were to play him. And it's an old man, and Viggo's getting up there, and I think he'd pull it off great. So like 1 or 2 in situations like that, I would, I'm not opposed to it. Adolin is a character that they talk about that he very much, his blonde hair resembles his mom a lot. So like, if they want to cast a white actor, by all means, But the overwhelming majority of the people in this movie or in this TV show should be Asian.
Yeah.
Gemma Chan for Yasna Colin is kind of my I'll die on this hill casting. I hope they don't CW it also. I hope the whole cast isn't pretty. You know?
Yeah.
But Mistborn casting, it's tough, right? Because Hoyd and Kelsier obviously need to be mild spoilers here. I need them to be a very young actor. I keep seeing people being like, David Tennant would make a great, Hoyd. And I'm like, motherfucker, I need this guy to be in the next, 47 things. I love David Tennant. I don't think he'd do a bad job at all. I think we could cast him as someone else. Mm-hmm. I think he'd make an excellent Lord Ruler. I think that would be awesome.
Not to derail you, but with where Hollywood is now, one positive advancement that they've made is they can take somebody who's 35 and have them look 35 for the next 20 years.
That's true.
But you really can't go too much older than that and have them still maintain that visage. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Hoyd should not age at all. So, because the dude's like 10,000 years old, so he needs to look the same in everything. So we really need like a Tom Holland.
Yeah.
And not him, because I think he's too old. I had to...
and does he really want to attach himself to another 10-year venture?
No. I honestly would like to see them grab some relative unknowns.
Yeah.
The real true question here, right? Who's Henry Cavill going to play?
I had him roaming around in my brain.
I don't think I think he would be good as Dalinar, but once again, that's an Asian character. So maybe we need to just be like, all right, you get 3. You can change 3 of these characters
right
to white folk, and other than that, you have to stick with it. From
now on, every time you're on like a forum or someplace that's talking about whitewashing a character, just post a picture of I can't believe I'm trying to blank on his name. He played a famous cowboy, but he was also Genghis Khan, and he was it's pretty fucking bad.
I just been posting this in the comments. Whitest white setting. I also have I'm very happy with the internet. Somebody did the Mean Girls scene where she's like, if you're from Africa, then why are you white?
Oh.
And they made it say, if you're from a left car, why are you white? And it's amazing. But
holy shit,
it's been a lot of that. Obviously, Vin is an interesting casting. You can cast all the white people you want for Scadrial. I think Daphne Keane is probably too old now, and that hurts my soul because
she would have been perfect.
She would have been off the chain.
Yeah.
Really incredible. We know she can do the stunts and the athleticism. That one's tough.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to get that one right. You have to get Kelsier right. You have to get her right. To a lesser extent, you need Ellen to be really good.
Yep.
He doesn't have to be perfect, but the audience needs to be sitting there. They need to be selling Vin lunch boxes and Kelsier backpacks and shit like that.
Yeah. So, how much time in a day does Brandon Sanderson have? Us normal mere mortals only have 24 hours. How many hours does he have to do everything that he's trying to do?
I think so. He said that he sleeps like 6 hours, and then he tends to write in the middle of the night. I think he writes from like 10 p.m. to like 3 a.m. or something every day. He's insanely focused though. I mean, and some of his books are going to slip. He has promised that none of the mainline series, so like none of the Mistborn or Stormlight books, are going to slip. because of this, but some of the things like Elantris sequels or Warbreaker sequels that have been kind of TBD, those might be like not happening now or maybe way later. Because he is currently right now, his main focus is writing the Mistborn movie script.
Yeah.
Because if that first one isn't good, then, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bust. I'm sure Apple's like agreement with him isn't like we have to keep making your shit if no one comes to see it.
Right.
So the trailer's got to be dope. It's got to be heavily marketed. It's got to do well in the cinema.
So let me ask you this, and this is potentially one of the tougher questions with a conversation like this. With this podcast, we've come to accept that whenever there's a superhero movie that's released, it's automatically ingrained in our minds. There's some things that have to be put aside for the sake of making this into a movie and making this something that's digestible for a casual audience who doesn't know this material.
Yeah.
What can be put aside or put on the back burner or maybe just removed entirely to ensure the best success for a Mistborn movie?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked about Mistborn because with Stormlight, it's a lot. Like, let's say they do 10 hours of TV for Stormlight. The shortest book, which is Way of Kings, you would have to cut so much to get that into 10 hours. Because it's like 1,100 and something pages. So you're hitting 100 pages an hour plus if you do 10. You're technically doing 116 pages an hour.
Yeah.
That's not a thing. Even if you have 100, even if you have a solid, wall to wall, no commercial breaks hour, which he probably will have, it can't be done. Maybe he'll do 12 episode seasons. Not sure how they'll do it.
Yeah.
But that's a lot harder. Although there's a lot more cruft. I think I hate to use that word because it's all really good, but like there's more you could trim. There's these kind of lore-based tangential things that you could trim off. There's a character, Risen, who she doesn't interact with the main cast hardly at all, and she's got this whole thing where she's like a merchant off on the islands, and her story's amazing. It's this whole thing, and it's actually really good. She encounters this big creature, and she like falls and becomes crippled, and the whole story is about how, in spite of that, she is still this incredible trader and becomes like really wealthy, and it's like her relationship with her master that's like teaching her all this stuff and everything. And I mean that in like the karate master sense, not in like the slave sense.
Yeah, okay.
Because they do have slavery on Roshar, so I just wanted to really make sure I clarified that. But as much as I love her and that story and all of that, it's probably gonna have to come out.
Yeah.
They're probably gonna have to, because it just isn't at this moment in time super crucial to the main plot. There may be something in the back 5, they're not out yet, I don't know, where it's like, oh no, we have to have that in there.
Yeah.
Mistborn though, I think the first movie, I think you can damn near shot for shot. Right? I mean, once again, I'm gonna spoil some shit here, so with Mistborn, you've got the intro to Vin and to Kelsey at the beginning. You have the whole thing of them planning the heist, and I think they would montage some of that, some of the planning. Obviously, there's a section of the book where he has her go around and train with all the different specialists in each metal. Some of that's gonna have to montage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're gonna have her going to the different balls and training with Sazed. So a lot of that, I think you can condense some of that down with the reader. I think that's one of those things where you can do it on a screen faster than you can on the page.
Yeah.
It takes more words to describe that than showing it.
Yeah.
They have to get the chemistry right for her and Elend. That's got to be believable. Without it, a lot of this falls apart.
Yep.
We have to care about that. I think a lot of the stuff with them training the army, I think that plot point gets included, but you don't have to show that on screen. Yeah, I think that first movie, there's not a lot you have to cut.
Yeah.
Especially if they get like 2.5 hours. I think you could do a lot. In the second two, though, there's a bunch of like not a ton, but like I mean, Hero of Ages, you can't do it in a movie, in one movie. Mm-hmm. It just can't be done. There's too much going on. Not to mention the entire, unless you do like I said and split it into 4, you're gonna have to cut probably the whole like Conjura.
Oh wow!
Side quest, and it's definitely not a side quest.
Yeah, it's not a side quest.
Tensoon and Milan are incredible, and like they're gonna come back later on in the different eras, and so they're gonna be around. Especially Milan, she has a very big role to play in the overall story. So like, it seems difficult to cut that there. Not to mention Secret History. Mm-hmm. They're gonna have to show that stuff. They're going to need to interweave Secret History into those movies. So I think after the first one, it gets more complicated. And that's why I think it should be 4 films. Because you're not going to go and make a Secret History separately. It wouldn't work as a movie.
Yeah.
But if you show all that happening in the background as the story's being told, then yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I suppose the only potential downside to that, again, not to spoil anything, is you do have to give people a time to miss certain characters. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And if you're constantly seeing them all throughout, the point obviously can still be brought, can still be made perfectly because, it doesn't have any impact on that. But I think that that in terms of like viewer reception or like that theater, holy shit, there goes so and so. You want that and you can have that, but I think that maybe we just don't have to see this person that often then, if that makes sense.
I probably wouldn't put them in the second film at all. Mm-hmm. Or maybe like a post-credit,
Yeah.
Maybe him waking up in the well is well, he doesn't wake up there, but him waking up, quote unquote, maybe that would be like the post credits for the second movie.
Yeah.
Or maybe you just save that and have that be the beginning of the third movie. Very very Two Towers where Gandalf's gone and it's like, oh, this is what actually happened. Not a bad blueprint for it.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of news unfolding about this over the next coming months and years, I'm sure.
There is.
It's too early yet to have any kind of time frame for anything. We don't have a time frame at all yet, do we?
No, I mean, he's writing the script now. I think if they start filming by the end of the year, and obviously that's an aggressive timeline.
That's a fast clip.
But let's just say they start filming in November, I think we could see this thing late 2028 at the soonest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that is a very fast turnaround time. That means that Brandon is obviously done with the script. I mean, we're not pulling any Avengers Doomsday, and that shit's still being written as filming is happening.
Yeah,
that means that I'm assuming Brandon and the casting director have both vetted thousands of people for these various roles. Sets and locations, costume and designs, fittings. It's a lot to do.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it can't be done. It certainly can, but also I don't know if either Apple or Brandon have that kind of sense of urgency.
Right. I think they have the urgency to get it right.
Yeah.
Rather than to get it rushed out. And when I say like late 2028, I mean, I'm just saying that's the absolute soonest I think we see it. Mm-hmm. I think it's much more likely it'd be a 2029. And then, hell, maybe we could get a season 1 of Stormlight sometime in 2030 or whatever. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know if their intent is to do the entire, adapt the Mistborn era 1 and then make the Stormlight show, or if there's going to be some overlap there where it's like, okay, we need to go ahead and get this kicked off. It will be interesting though to see how that goes, because like it's easier to hide some of this shit on the page than it is in live action. Like there's already a scene at the beginning of Way of Kings that if on the page it means nothing, but if the person were standing there, it would be the biggest spoiler imaginable.
Oh yeah.
And so my Cosmere people watching this, you know what I'm talking about. But there's a lot of stuff like that it's very easy for him to hide characters, on the page. Whereas on the silver screen, we're gonna all be doing the Leo meme and be like, hey,
right.
And there'll be some good to that too, I think.
Oh yeah.
There's probably stuff that people have missed that they won't, in the movies and stuff. I'm just really excited about it. I would love for it to kind of be a bit, because Mistborn Era 3 is going to be coming out in 2028. I plan to go back to Dragonsteel, and I would like to be there with like 8,000 people and not 80,000. So,
I mean, hell, I feel like with this announcement, that's already going to bump up that number significantly.
The book sales and stuff are probably already skyrocketing. I know 3 different people that are reading Final Empire right now.
Ooh.
So I can only imagine that his book sales and stuff. I have a friend that just finished Way of Kings. I have another one that's reading it. There's a lot right now with this announcement. It was all over the internet. I mean, it was everywhere. To go on seeing comicbook.com and IGN and all these other places that were just like, it's like on the front page, like that this is happening. It was really good to see that, and how big of a fuss this really, how much this has stirred up Hollywood and just the media as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, you just think about it this way. I didn't learn this until recently, but Twilight got 5 movies.
Yeah,
and if they can get 5 movies, then
Well, they got 5 movies, but they also hit in the dead center of the goth phase vampire era.
True.
And don't get me wrong, I think Mistborn is hitting in the era of high fantasy.
Yeah.
Like right now, there's a lot of big productions going on. Game of Thrones did a lot. House of the Dragon is doing really well. Night of the Seven Kingdoms is doing really well. Can't wait to review that one soon. Yeah, man, I think that this may be, like, if they do it right, obviously, I think it'll be bigger than Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and that's massive.
I don't know if they make it fucking PG-13. I think that's going to be very difficult to have Steel Inquisitors in a PG-13 production, but maybe.
I think it's gonna be PG-13.
Probably, but hemalurgy as a concept.
As a concept, you're gonna have to be really creative to work around.
Yeah,
some of that. Yeah,
because there has to be a horror element to it, or it doesn't work.
For sure, like just the design of them is horrific.
Yeah, yeah. Like, can you even have just a Steel Inquisitor walking around in a PG-13? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's atrocious.
It really is. But we're both really excited to see and hear more about this live action Cosmere. I mean, just and clearly this has been discussed for years now. It went from being a fever dream to a hopeful desire to a thoughtful wish to something that could be possible to something that is now happening. So,
like overnight, it really just. We knew that Brandon had been in talks with Hollywood, but things had fallen through before. I mean, Mistborn was last year. We talked about this. Mistborn was so far along in a pre-production process, and then it fell apart. And that's happened a couple times. And so now, for us to be in a situation where like the ink is on the page, it's happening. He's got control. They are going to make it. You have one of the biggest companies in the world standing behind it. I mean, it is every fan's dream, and then there's also there is right in the back of my mind, there's the worry. Am I going to gatekeep? Yes, I am. I'm I'm just kidding. I'm not going to really. I do the reverse gatekeeping, which is where you just force everyone around you to like the things that you like.
Yeah. That is another thing. We're gonna have to. You have to deal with the toxic fan base who essentially wants to gatekeep or at least little brother everybody.
Yeah, and I'm gonna really try not to do any of that. It's gonna be different. I want you to come with me on opening night to these things, and so because you're gonna be in there with a bunch of Cosmere nerds, and I just think it'll be really interesting. It's gonna be like two completely different things, like watching it at like the midnight release versus like on the weekend.
Oh, for sure.
Because I guarantee you that there's just so many layers and things that like people like myself are gonna pop for, and like, you know, to like the random person who brought his girlfriend in there or whatever, you know, it's gonna be. Or in this instance, probably like random person who brought their boyfriend in there, because like I don't know if there's I'm not sure what the gender split on his audiences is, but I think it's probably close to 50-50, but if it leans one way or the other, it's probably more women. Wow. Just because, like, he's one of the few male authors that writes really strong female characters. Yeah. And does it very well, you know. And it's not just, you know, they boobily breasted down the stairs or whatever.
I mean, you know, there's nothing wrong with boobily breasting down the stairs.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a little bit of that in the Cosmere, but, you know, it's appropriate where it's at,
yes.
you know.
Yes.
That's not their character.
Yeah, that's not their only.
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay.
Well, all right, 30 minutes in here, we should probably talk about the thing.
I guess we should. You guys clicked on this looking for one thing, and then you got another thing. Welcome to the Superhero Homies podcast, folks. That's what happens here.
That's right. We do it all the time. But for something this momentous, you know, we had to talk about it.
Oh, for sure.
But speaking of momentous, man, our subject matter tonight.
Yes. But, of course, proper introductions are in order. So, with that being said, homies one and all, welcome back to another very special episode of the Superhero Homies podcast. My name is Quentin, and as always, I'm here with the world's greatest co-host, the homie Caleb.
What's going on, everybody? We missed last week, and I'll be honest with you guys, it's been 2 weeks since we did this. It feels like an eternity.
It feels like forever.
It feels wrong.
I almost forgot what Caleb looked like.
Yeah.
That's how long it's been.
Yeah. We actually had some really terrible weather in our area. We normally play D&D together every Sunday. And so I haven't seen you in like 2 weeks. Yeah. Which is crazy. That never happens.
Right.
And also just that we had not put out an episode, and it felt like ages. And especially because, you know, coming up, we're probably going to be doing 2 a week again come April when like 90 different things are on at the same time. But yeah, man, tonight we are going to talk about Wonder Man. I want to, we talked about this previously, and we're still going to do it as far as ranking the live action Star Wars stuff that came out under Disney, under Kathleen Kennedy's leadership. Feel about that how you may. But I thought that it was kind of more pressing time-wise for us to talk about Wonder Man. Because this just recently came out, and there's been a lot of stir about it on social media. I think out of all the shows that they didn't market at all, this one has definitely caught the zeitgeist more than any other.
It really has. This Wonder Man TV show has taken the internet by storm. I can't go to any of like my nerdy sources for my comic books or omnis or anything without seeing people mention it or talking about it. People have really been resonating a lot with this Wonder Man TV show, and it's been it's been nothing short of a phenomenon, really, if I'm being honest. Yeah. Just seeing people's reaction towards this thing. So let's kick it off. Caleb, what did you think of, how many episodes was it, by the way?
6?
Was it 6? I couldn't remember if it was 6 or 8. I think it might be 6.
It might be 8.
Oh, shit.
I binged it in one sitting.
Yeah, I think I watched it over the course of 2 or maybe, I think 2 days while I was snowed in.
Yeah. It's 8. It's 8 episodes.
Okay, so it is 8. Okay.
Yeah. Listen, I didn't know what to think going into this. As a matter of fact, I went into this thinking the same thing I thought about Marvel Zombies, Eyes of Wakanda, Ironheart, some of these other shows that have honestly been, under, like, it's very clear that it feels like, the old regime made these. We're not going to, we got them sitting here, so we might as well put them out. And that's kind of the level of effort that Disney tossed at these things. But I think they're going to be, and then with this one, they even, gave it the death knell of putting that Marvel Studios Presents on it, And I'm like, oh, God, don't do that. Yeah. And so I think they're going to be in a bind here because I think for the first time in a long time, people want to see more of this character. So I think they're going to have to go and do the opposite of what they've been having to do, which is like we introduce this new character and shove them down your throats, and then we have to start writing them out of shit. Then they're going to have to do the opposite where it's like we tried to slide this shit out under your nose, and now it's like, oh, we're going to have to put this motherfucker in the Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Me personally, I thought that this show was tremendous. I don't think it's like a 10 or anything, but I really thoroughly enjoyed it. And I also think that it's a terrible superhero show. It's not because it's not a superhero show. It's really just it's a TV show. It's a television show. I think a character study where one of the characters, well, two of the characters happen to have superpowers, and that's part of the plot. But I think it does not have the elements of a traditional superhero TV show. There's no bad guy to fight at the end. There's no big CGI boss fight. There's not even a fight.
Right.
It's just and the comics have done things like this for years. But Hollywood seems most interested in the things that are going to sell backpacks to middle schoolers. And that's understandable because don't get me wrong, that's where the money is. But your audience for this stuff is mostly our age.
Yep.
And we want to see you think outside the box. We want to see you bring more things like this to life. And I mean, especially having someone like Trevor in the show, who I normally am like, fuck, get this motherfucker off my TV immediately. I thoroughly enjoyed him in this. What did you think, man?
Wonder Man was one of the most frustrating shows I've seen in a long time.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean that in a couple different ways, right? Because I watched this show and I recognize it for its artistic value, and I'm thankful that it is such a breath of fresh air in comparison to everything else that we've gotten recently from Marvel. And like you said, Caleb, it is a superhero show only in the sense that it's a Marvel product. And,
yeah.
And it's featuring Wonder Man, Simon Williams. And Marvel, they know that a lot of people don't really know that much about Wonder Man. And they use that to their advantage.
I don't know shit about Wonder Man. I'm going to tell you right now. And after watching this show, I'm pretty sure I still don't.
Yeah. And you don't have to watch the show for long. I would say maybe by episode 3, I kind of realized that, okay, this show really isn't about Simon Williams finding his own as the superhero who is Wonder Man. It is about him kind of finding himself as a person and like his own kind of development and growth. There are themes of the show that I do like, but I think the thing about this show that I like by far the most is not even the characters, but the performances of Yahya Abdul-Mateen II and Ben Kingsley.
Yes.
I think that their performances are amazing.
It's at the dead center of this show.
Yeah.
And one thing, I don't mean to cut you off there, but I just wanted to touch on that. It's like, that is the show, right? Like, without it, this is nothing,
Who would have thought that those two actors would have such chemistry? It's just so random.
It is, right? Yeah. But Ben Kingsley's been—that's the guy's name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Has been so wasted by Marvel.
I know.
Until now.
Yeah, which is so weird, right? Because there's full spoilers, by the way. There's a moment in the show.
Full spoilers.
I think it's in episode 7 where he goes back into Mandarin mode and he does the whole spiel again as the Mandarin terrorist, and all it did was reopen an old wound, kind of, about how good he could have been.
I know.
As the Mandarin.
When I got to that part, man,
Yeah.
I was so torn about that because it's like, it is really good to actually see this character kind of get some closure around this. But like, me as myself am enraged that you made me think about this.
Right.
Like, it would have been incredible if that had been an element of that movie. It wouldn't have saved it.
No.
But it would have made me be like, well, that one part with Ben Kingsley was good.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Trying to salvage some of Iron Man 3, you know what I mean?
Yeah, other than now where I'm just like, oh no, that movie's dog shit all the way through and through. Still probably, I think maybe still the worst thing they've put out, either that or Eternals.
Ooh, boy.
But at least for Eternals, though, I don't have the connection to Eternals that you do. So through Eternals, I'm just bored. I'm not livid,
Yeah. Yeah.
Iron Man 3 makes me physically ill. Like, it just makes me so angry.
Oh, boy. It's a toss-up for me, like, between those two, like, which one I dislike more.
Yeah.
It depends on the day.
Yeah. Yahya Abdul-Mateen, we obviously all knew that this guy could bring it, right? Yeah. But, we've also seen him cast in Aquaman, and where, in the first movie, he did the best he could with what they gave him.
Right.
And then in the second movie, they didn't really give him anything. So
yep.
They're like, we'll teach you. But in this, man, like, and important to note that Destin Daniel Cretton is the director. And he is the director for Brand New Day.
Oh, okay.
And I think that gives me a lot of hope for that.
Yeah.
Seeing that he is willing to, like, let these characters be characters. Now, I doubt he has that kind of, leeway in a Spider-Man movie.
Right. There better be a goddamn fight in my Spider-Man movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just imagine it's like the last 45 minutes is just him and Frank Castle just having a long conversation.
I would watch that between, like, Frank and Matt, but I don't think I can watch that between Peter and Frank.
Yeah, because every time Peter talks, like, Frank is just going to be like, you stupid motherfucker. Yeah. Like, no. Listen to me.
Oh, shit.
Like, you can throw cars.
Yeah.
Like, fucking do something.
Oh, I had to give this show, like, the props that it deserves. So I'll take a step back, though, and say this. I don't necessarily think that this show was for me, simply because the performances are the reason why I kept coming back to this show.
Yeah.
Nonstop. And I appreciate the show for focusing more on, like, the intricacies of these characters as people. However, I really wish that there was just more growth, or at least something that was more gradual, something that really showed us, at least for Trevor, why'd you make the flip? Like, why this moment did you make the flip?
Right.
And for Simon, something that I know was done purposely. For the life of me, I can't figure out why. One of the very first things we see him do is he gets way too much into his head. A little bit of that Simon Williams narcissism maybe starts to creep out, and he starts to rewrite scripts in his own mind the way he wants to. And then towards the end of the series, we see him do that exact same thing again. And am I supposed to take that as a quirk, or am I supposed to take this as something for him to have grown from? And I don't really know. And so I want to appreciate this show more as a character study, but I felt like they probably should have leaned more into these characters and seeing them grow. Like, I love seeing him interact with his brother, Simon interact with his brother.
Yeah.
Who's a villain, by the way? Grim Reaper. I know more about the Grim Reaper than I know about Wonder Man from the comics. But like him interacting with his brother and his family, I kind of wish we got more of that. I know that they don't want to focus on the superheroics of it all. However, it would have been more interesting to know about Simon's triggers and about why he has these things. And again, like the Marvel special of not explaining what the fuck these powers are.
Right.
Like that would have also been something. They do jump the fact that they are ionic powers, which is, accurate, but they don't explain what the fuck that means.
Right. Yeah. You just got to roll with it. Don't think about it more.
Yeah. And I think I realized by the time we got to the when they were at the director's house, and for the life of me, I don't know who that director was supposed to, be emulating, but they nailed it, whoever it was.
Yeah. It just felt like the guy from Superman. He retired and became a director.
Yeah. Oh shit! But that might be my favorite episode in this. And I just remember thinking, man, this was actually a really, really good episode. I just wish that it tied into something more.
Oh, my favorite episode is
Doorman?
DeMar Doorman Davis. So I'm going to push back, before I get into that, I'm going to push back a little bit on Trevor because I don't consider what he did to be a flip. I think the show did a good job of showing his gradual change into that because obviously in the very beginning he's like, I'll do whatever I got to do for you not to send me to jail.
Yeah.
Very squirmy, showing the cowardice, like typical Trevor. But then, as he gets kind of closer and like actually starts to have these really legit conversations with Simon, you see him like he's just kind of leading them on. I mean, there's even the scene where he, they have him do the recording. He breaks the SD card and throws it away. So I always felt like he was sliding towards that the whole time. I never felt like it was like a light switch where, he was going to throw Simon under the bus. And then, at the last second, he just said, fuck it. I'm going to do the Mandarin deal.
I took it as him wanting his cake and eating it too, but not having, him just being this indecisive person the whole time through, I like Simon and I want him to like me, but I also don't want to fucking rot in federal prison for the rest of my life. Yeah. And so we would just see him go back and forth kind of. And I don't know, I guess it would just been nice for me if I could get something more definitive that really solidified okay, I want to side with Simon, consequences be damned. This is my choice.
Yeah. I will say that this thing was really well shot.
Yeah.
I love the scene where they reveal that he did the Mandarin explosion because where you see the SWAT team coming in and you think they're at Simon's apartment, and even Simon in character thinks that they're going to come to his apartment.
Yeah.
But they're actually coming after Trevor. I thought that was well shot.
Who was his editor? The fucking because Trevor Mandarin when he sent in that video. It wasn't just him staring at a camera. There were cuts.
Yeah.
To god damn.
Yeah. It was well done.
Yeah, you have missed your calling.
Yeah. You should have been an editor or a producer or something. Shit. I loved that aspect of it. But let's talk about Doorman Davis.
Oh man, good old Door, who was also an actual superhero.
That's incredible. Yeah. Does he have that same superpower?
Basically, yeah. He can conjure portals, go from A to B. Yeah,
that dude was cool as fuck too. Yeah, yeah. That actor, man, they got a great actor to play him. That was Byron Bowers.
Yeah.
You think he's related to Will at all?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say probably not.
Okay,
I could be wrong.
Yeah. Josh Gad as himself was fucking hilarious. That's another thing I'll say about this show. Marvel usually is very hit or miss when it comes to the humor. This show is hilarious.
Oh yeah, this show has some really funny moments.
But a lot of that has to do with like the things we're harping on here all the time. It's like Trevor and Simon are very funny for different reasons in this show. Trevor is actually playing it straight, but he has all these ridiculous quirks that like we associate with like these elite, actors or whatever. The thespians or whatever. He thinks of himself as the, and he is, as this, actor's actor.
Right.
And he has all these quirks and stuff that he thinks are refined society, completely normal, whatever, but they're ridiculous. And so the character is playing it like, yeah, of course I do this, and this. And that shit's funny. And then Simon is so like, he very well like played a neurodivergent character. You can, I don't know if they were aiming for a specific thing, but like the thing with me that with him is he probably has OCD at a minimum, and probably a couple other acronyms too. Not a doctor, but that's one of the things that I think he really played off on is like he could never just be there in the moment.
Yeah.
He is always going, the script has to be perfect. I have to do this. It's very much the, can't see the forest for the trees scenario with Simon. Simon can't get out of his own head long enough to do anything. The thing that's holding him back is not his talent. He's immensely talented. The thing that's holding Simon back is Simon.
Yeah.
And the moments that he's in that are really hilarious, they all kind of stem from that, of him being this incredibly meticulous type of person. And all that is backed up by the fact that like the dialogue in this all feels like real people talking for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't have a problem with the dialogue in this show. And when I think about this show, I want to go back to like the Doorman episode. Because I do agree that the Doorman episode was just a very fun episode, but I just kept wondering, where are we going with this?
Yeah.
Like, as much as I enjoyed that episode, because I mean, again, I agree they're in it on this one. The Doorman episode was very good. I mean, we never see this guy again, and. And they went a long, interesting way to answer a simple question about Simon. And it's like, well, I appreciate that, but man, we got so far off track. I almost forgot what the fuck Simon was doing in the first place.
Because the internet likes Doorman Davis, they're gonna stick him in some dumb shit he shouldn't be in. Like he's gonna be in the Squirrel Girl movie or something.
Oh Jesus!
Like
just popping up.
Yeah, Just ding dong. He's gonna be a pizza delivery man.
Oh no.
Yeah. And he just reaches through the door and leaves your pizza.
Yeah. God damn it.
But they do shit like this, like put people in projects that doesn't make any sense for them to be in.
Like Mephisto being in Ironheart.
Yeah. Exactly that. Even though we both liked that, it was like, all right, well.
Yeah. For sure. Damage Control, they could have been anybody. I'm glad to see Damage Control in the MCU.
I think we've only seen them in Homecoming, right?
I think so. Yeah, they were like name dropped there, right?
Yeah.
And I don't quote me on this, but rumoredly they're gonna play a bigger role in Brand New Day. And so maybe that's why they decided to kind of put them in something else to remind people that, hey, they do exist here.
Yeah. I really like this director, man. I think Spider-Man is in good hands with him. Obviously, like they're not going to put the cash cow on somebody that they don't have a lot of faith in.
Yeah.
And, if we can get the same like production value in that we got in this, I think Spider-Man's going to be just fine.
Yeah. As long as that sloppy ass script that I saw online isn't accurate.
I hope not.
Yeah.
It's Amy Pascal's script. She wrote it. Was like, here.
God damn it.
We should do this. Spider-Man throws a sandwich
at Sadie Sink.
Yeah.
Of course. So there was one moment where I kind of began to feel like I'm ready to take this home. Okay, I think I'm ready for this to go somewhere. And it was the episode before they got the casting call to go to the director's house.
Right.
The one where the one kid took the video of Simon beating the shit out of those goons.
Yeah.
And they were trying to get the footage back. That was the only episode to me that really felt like, okay, I think we're just spinning our wheels here. We're spinning our wheels here on the lowest stake Marvel TV show ever, and we are really digging our ties into the dirt.
I had that episode described to me so succinctly that I went back and watched it again just so I could draw the comparisons. But somebody said that episode was like if a white person made Friday. And I thought that was the funniest shit imaginable.
What the fuck?
And I was like, I started thinking about it though, and I was like, oh no, I guess it kind of is. And yeah, man, the whole thing is just that. And I don't think that episode's bad. I just think that the pacing, like at that point in time, we as the audience, we just want to know about the Wonder Man movie and what's going to happen and all of that. And it also kind of feels like a Seinfeld episode, right? Like the Seinfeld episode always has like one thing, and usually it's like a thing that one or all four of the main characters are trying to do, and they fail at it for 30 minutes.
Right.
And that's pretty much what that episode is. Like they're trying to make the tape, and it just continuously falls through.
Right.
And or a South Park episode, right? Yeah. And there's diminishing returns on the joke. Like the first 2 or 3 times, it was really, really good. But then by the time we're on this whole side quest or whatever about these other characters that we don't really care about, it's the guy wants the motorcycle from this dude, and then it turns out that. It was his motherfucking motorcycle, and he was just trying to get them to steal it. And I don't know what the fuck Trevor thought he was going to do, like, just out walking around. Like,
yeah.
Not, even if he wasn't the Mandarin, this motherfucker's an actor.
Yeah, you've been on TV.
Yeah.
Several times.
And you're the Mandarin.
Yeah, and you're the Mandarin.
And I'm pretty sure that was on the news everywhere.
Right.
So, like, I don't know, like, why it's that crazy that someone recognized them.
That's true.
Well,
neither one of them are exactly super intelligent.
That's true. That's true. But I agree with you. Like, that's definitely the low point or whatever.
Also, I need to know those peach rings or whatever. Were they laced with something?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think they were just
maybe
making
not.
candy.
They were just delicious candy.
Just delicious.
Yeah. Well, I'll be dang.
I guess.
In that case, I might be a little disappointed, at taking one like, this is good, man, but when does it, when does it kick up?
I like that, they were just going to let the mobsters shoot that kid.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I probably wouldn't have stopped him either. They're like, we're going to kill him. I'd be like, I don't know this guy.
Yeah.
All he's ever done is blackmail me.
Right.
And if I was that kid, though, I sure wouldn't have passed the SD card through the slot.
Oh, yeah, no. That's your only leverage.
Yeah, I'd have been like, you let me in, and then I'll give it to you.
Yeah. Not to get too far ahead of ourselves here, but I do wonder, looking forward, what is the future for Wonder Man? Because we will see him again, and we're going to see Trevor again. And I guess my thing of it is, whatever we see them in next, it needs to be something like Wonder Man Season 2 or something adjacent to that.
Yeah.
Because I would love to see Yahya Abdul-Mateen on the big screen MCU project, but the character just ain't there yet. I mean,
they could put him in the Defenders, like street level.
So here's the thing, right? Like, and I know the show doesn't really describe it like this, So maybe they'll change it, but he's like powerful.
Oh, okay. He can't be.
Yeah.
He can't be in the Defenders.
No.
He can't be deleting city blocks.
Yeah. That it'd be problematic.
Maybe they're gonna do a West Coast Avengers.
They could, but hell, they barely have enough Avengers to.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I'm not saying that it would be great. I'm just saying maybe that's what they're thinking.
Okay. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. I mean, they can bring Doorman back. He was part of the Great Lake Avengers. That was the thing for a while. They can put him in there. I don't. And then again, Doorman, he's even less ready for superheroics than Simon, man. I mean,
Doorman can be in the Defenders.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they should probably put a pin in that for the time.
Probably
being.
for now.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Doorman Davis is off the chain. I love that there was like sites circulating like fake news articles or whatever, where it's like Josh Gad has been found in time to make Frozen 3.
Bro, one of them like it legit got me for a split second. It was actually while I was watching the show. I had taken a break from watching one of the episodes. I guess it was the Doorman episode. And I was doing laundry and I was just scrolling on my phone and I see an article that looked like a legit TMZ article and it said Josh Gad missing. And I was like, oh, shit. And then, like, thankfully I glanced back at it and it was a fucking Wonder Man ad. Like, motherfuckers. Yeah, okay. They got me.
It was bold as fuck of them to play that Daredevil teaser in front of every single episode.
Yeah.
It'd be like episode Daredevil teaser, episode Daredevil teaser.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dang, man, that is bold as fuck for you to play that trailer, which that trailer is amazing, by the way.
It is, yeah.
Before every single episode. I mean, that they knew they had something good, I think.
Yeah.
Somebody knew they had something good. It's evident that Disney didn't give a fuck about this. Or they didn't think it was going to do well.
Right. So, I mean, we spoke about this briefly at the end of the Homie Awards about how Marvel, they have these slate of shows that were apparently part of like their last regime or their last planned projects that they decided to, we're not going to devote any more money to this. We're pivoting. We're going a different direction. And either that or they're just like, we don't like black people, so we're not going to devote any money or time to them.
I hope it's not that.
Yeah. Either way, not a great look.
Yeah, not a great look.
But, like you said, they definitely did not anticipate people receiving this show the way that they did.
Yeah.
And now they're going to have to do something different with something else with Wonder Man.
And they probably don't even, if I had to guess, they don't understand why the show is so loved.
That is going to be the danger of it.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing about it, right? Like, I don't know what their plans long term are for Wonder Man. Like the character of Simon Williams. I don't know what their plans for him are. If they do plan on transitioning him into being a superhero, they have a long road ahead because like he's still so far away from being
Wonder Man.
Yeah. Right now he's the guy who has played Wonder Man on TV.
And it's really crazy too, like how meta this fucking show is, because like
it's crazy.
They reference movies and like actors and things like that are in MCU projects. Mind blowing.
Yeah, really risky, and it's to the point where this show feels so self-contained that it would feel a little bit jarring for me to see Wonder Man on screen with like another MCU character. Like, I have a hard time picturing him having a conversation with Matt Murdock. Like this,
yeah,
it feels so weird.
Yeah, Matt probably also has a hard time picturing that.
Well, don't make me say it. The last episode of this show, I also thought was pretty good too.
Yep.
The way that it ends also tells me that they had no plans or intentions on revisiting this.
Yeah, they really didn't.
Because the fuck do you do now? But our road to get there was interesting. So we see them finish the movie, right? And they crop out Trevor, and I forget who they put in this place.
It was the guy. It was what's his name? Joe Pantoliano, the guy that they went to go visit.
Oh, that's right.
He took the other role from him.
That's right.
Which was hilarious. Yeah. Such a good gag.
That's right. Yeah. So they have him there, and they finished the Wonder Man movie, and
which was probably a fucking terrible movie, by the way.
Let's be honest, yeah. And the director, he's talking like they just made fucking Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Like they just made some masterpiece here.
And I love the dig at Hollywood or whatever, where the two of them sit there and they're like, it's a masterpiece. We couldn't make a sequel. Like we should never do it. And it's like, let's have a meeting next week though. Let's talk about like if we were. Yeah.
And Simon is agreeing with the bullshit the whole way through.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That was great. That was great, and it was very much like you said, a self-reflection of Hollywood. A rare moment of Disney being self-aware.
Yeah.
Which is, again, even more ironic because now they have to do that with Wonder Man Season 2.
That's exactly right. Yep. And interestingly enough, this is not a comic news episode, but, Disney is about to have another new CEO.
Mm-hmm.
So we could get a whole nother big shakeup here.
Man, listen. They say that the devil you know is better than the devil you don't. And I'm not saying that it's bad for Marvel that Iger is out of here, but I don't know.
Well, Iger's only left Disney one time before this, and that was really bad for Marvel.
Yeah.
So if we're just going off of what we know to be true, the odds are not great. But a lot of people are like, now at this point, they're questioning Kevin Feige's longevity there because it came out that WB offered him a fucking bag of money. It came out that, a lot of people, are putting two and two together with like, well, Iger is out. Well, Kathleen Kennedy is out. Yeah. Are they gonna refresh the people in charge over here on the Marvel side too? And I think it's wise to leave Kevin Feige where he's at for now. What we talked about before, if Avengers movies start coming out that suck, okay, well let's roll some heads, particularly that one.
Yeah. The moment that an Avengers movie doesn't make $1 billion, it's time to go back to the cutting room.
Yeah,
and make some changes.
We're gonna replace Kevin Feige with Iman Vellani, and
yeah, I can see it now. And then I'd be wondering, why is Kamala Khan in every single goddamn movie? This is really fucking weird.
You never read that famous comic line, like The Adventures of Iron Man and Miss Marvel?
I haven't even heard of it, actually.
Oh, yeah. And then, there was Miss Marvel and Thunder. The infamous Thor.
You mean Marvelous Thunder. Yeah, I don't know how I missed that one.
Yes, exactly that. Yeah, and then Miss Marvel goes to Wakanda.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's like a 200 issue arc.
Wow, yeah. Well, that had some issues because they called it Black Con for a while.
Oh, and then they had to change it.
Yeah, had to change it,
Look, Stan Lee wasn't great about some of this stuff, And then, famously the Jack Kirby piece, like Miss Marvel and the Eternals.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. Eternal Con, yeah.
Yeah. Miss Marvel and the X-Men.
Oh, of course, yeah. Was she's just like a starting member of the team now.
The leader, actually.
The leader, yeah. Of the team, absolutely. Fantastic Kamala Khan.
Yeah. Where the Fantastic Four occasionally cameos.
Yeah. Oh, shit. But how long into this last episode did it take you to understand where the fuck they were going with it?
as far as that he was gonna like bail him out. Mm-hmm. I called it like shortly before they drove out there.
Okay.
I was like, some of the dialogue like kind of started dropping hints, and I was like, oh no, man, this motherfucker works at the prison. This is all just an elaborate like way to get him in there. And you know, you have to suspend your disbelief that like this motherfucker that's in their database wouldn't be immediate, and also just starred in a famous movie, like super famous, like lead role in the movie, is not going to, you know, immediately set off like facial recognition at this place.
Yeah.
You know, there's a little bit of suspend disbelief. They did have at least, you know, they at least played on it a little bit. They had the one guy be like, you know, do I know you? I've seen you somewhere. And, you know, maybe they're playing off the fact that like, you know, like, people of like other races just think that people of other races all look alike. That's like a proven scientific thing. You know, and that's why, you know, identifying people in like a lineup doesn't really hold up across racial lines and stuff. But it's still a stretch, right? That'd be like saying that, you know, let's just say that Chris Hemsworth's best friend was to go to prison. And Chris Hemsworth was to sneak into that prison,
right,
and bust him out.
Now, if Chris were to walk past 24 other people that work in that prison, 4 of them got to go. That motherfucker looks familiar.
Yeah, is fucking Thor walking through here? And like half of them are gonna be like, "Let me get your autograph, man. Hey, can you sign this for my kid? I just happen to bring this Thor Funko to work with me every day."
Just in case you show up.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them on eBay for like a lot, but not this one.
Yeah. God damn.
If you see that on there, that's not this one.
Yeah, it's not this one.
Yeah.
But no, he's able to go and infiltrate the prison and break Trevor out. And then they fly off to who knows where.
Is it just me or that prison seriously look like the command center from Power Rangers?
God damn. I didn't think about that.
Oh, yeah. It's like the same terrain and everything.
Well, now, if they had panned to the outside and we got, like, you know, the outside view of the Power Rangers Command Center, then it would have really clicked. There weren't enough, like, glowing lights and computer consoles for
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
I really just meant, like, from the outside.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I got to go back and look at that, man.
Yeah.
But no, they broke out. Headcanon, what happens with them now? I mean, honestly, what the fuck could they possibly do?
They've got to disappear, right?
They have to.
Maybe they'll do like a Sword show and they go work for Sword.
Oh, going to space?
Yeah. Wonder Man in space.
And then it's like both of them have the same passion, that is acting.
Yeah.
You know, so what are they going to do that doesn't center around that if they can't do that for their passion?
They can go act with Matt Damon in Asgardian, you know, traveling troupe or whatever.
I guess there is a new Asgard. So.
Yeah, yeah. But they got to disappear, man. I mean, obviously, like, Trevor can't be anywhere, and, like, I mean, they're going to easily figure out who broke him out of there. I think they already figured it out.
Oh, for sure they did. Yeah, I mean, Damage Control, they were on it before, like, you know, before as they were arresting Trevor, you know?
Yeah.
Like, okay, look, we'll let you take the fall for this shit, but we know that this wasn't really you.
Yeah.
And Damage Control, they might be on to something in terms of Simon being dangerous. Every time he has, like, a serious outburst, some shit breaks.
Just explodes.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the whole motherfucking set.
Right. Yeah, shit's not cool. So I have heard potential rumors. I don't think they're true at all. That they had plans on using Simon in something as soon as Doomsday.
That would be interesting.
Yeah,
I wouldn't hate it.
I got to see the context.
Yeah.
Of it. Like, why are you here again? And like, what exactly are you doing?
they're gonna have not the Void, the other guy,
Sentry.
Sentry kill him.
Oh Jesus!
They're just gonna have Sentry fuck him up.
I mean, wow, we got there somehow. Yeah, I don't know why they would do that.
I'm just saying, man. They're gonna do something. They gotta do something to show his powers off.
They really do. I think first Marvel needs to like sit down and like look at a comic book and be like, okay, we know what his powers are now, and then they can go from there.
I'll be honest. I'm normally right there with you as far as like I hate the fucking vague powers, but I don't know that this show necessarily needed that. I do think that in the future it will become very necessary.
Yeah. And that's pretty much all I'm getting at. Like, if this were, like, for example, this was a much bigger deal for me with Moon Knight than it is with this show.
Oh, God, yeah.
Because Moon Knight is certainly more action forward, and they just fucking took guesses at what Moon Knight can do.
I think that this show is kind of what they thought they were fucking doing with Moon Knight.
A little bit.
But it just doesn't land to me.
Yeah, I give you that for sure. And I mean, and Moon Knight even ends with the big CG fight.
Yeah.
You know?
The kaiju battle.
Yeah.
And I was just tuned out.
I know.
I was tuned out about the time they did the Asylum trope. You know I hate that shit.
Yeah, not to go off on Moon Knight, but Oscar Isaac is great. You know, he's always great. But man, the character overall deserved better. I wish that someone there just had a better grasp of who Moon Knight is.
He has a bad track record with comic book
He
stuff.
does, man. He really does.
Yep.
Apocalypse was not it either.
Maybe he can get cast in a Saga adaptation.
Oh, jeez.
And finally get his due, you know. Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know what they thought they were doing with Moon Knight, but whatever it is, like, they got that formula down here. I'm not trying to say they're the same show, but I think that they did, you know, an excellent job with this. Is the next thing we're going to get Spider-Man from Marvel? Is it just Spider-Man and Doomsday left for this year?
In terms of movies?
Everything.
No, we got Daredevil.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Doesn't count. Whatever. Yeah. We got season 2 of Born Again.
Yeah, Born Again.
Yep. Daredevil Born Again. The law offices of Born Again and Born Again.
Yes, right.
But yeah, I mean, I'm really excited for that, especially seeing that trailer. I think that this time they are at least set up for success. They don't have to undo what the first set of people came in and did. They can just pick it up. And I mean, obviously we don't get a lot in the teaser, but the shit looks really good.
Yeah. You know, I was thinking about something the other day. I think when I first saw the trailer for Born Again season 2, but
Born Again.
I used to think that the most unrealistic part of Born Again was having this super evil, corrupt person be in a position of political power. But, you know, it's like that's so over the top. I think the thing that's even more over the top is that person instills a pseudo police force with like unlimited jurisdiction to do what they want and cause a state of chaos and panic. That's probably the most unrealistic thing about the show.
Yeah, man. It's almost like they predicted certain things. It's almost like anyone could have predicted easily that would happen. You know, whoever was writing this shit, just like turn on the news and they're just like, for real?
Yeah. Hopefully they were like, I should probably rewrite the ending of season 2 because if this shit is coming true.
Yeah. You know, next thing we know, we're gonna hear that like Trump smashed in the head of like one of his advisors or whatever.
Or he tried to, but he just shit himself instead.
Yeah, again. I swear to God, if they have Wilson Fisk shit himself on camera,
no,
you know they would have already had to have had it planned.
I know. Holy shit! Oh, that's great. Is there anything else on Wonder Man that we want to talk about?
I think we could probably score this thing and get out of here.
I think so. Again, just to reiterate, I don't know exactly what Marvel's plans are for the character. And again, I don't know if they know what their plans are for these characters. But there are some pretty unique Easter eggs in this show as well, I want to point out. One Easter egg, or I guess maybe three Easter eggs, I should say, are the costume designs for Wonder Man. I thought that was pretty interesting. So Wonder Man, to me, and I think to most comic readers, has maybe three distinct looks. There's his OG look that's mostly green with red on it. And that's what we see the old school movie Wonder Man wear. Then we see his more current streamlined look, which is like the black with like the maroon W on the chest, and that's what Yaya wears for his suit on set. And then there was one more, and if you guys have a keen eye, you probably caught it at the movie premiere. When they leave the showing, we see Yaya wearing like this, kind of like this red tux almost looking suit.
Yeah.
Wonder Man has worn that in the comics quite a few times as well. So, interesting Easter eggs they have here, and they have a very unique take on some of these characters as well. Like I already mentioned, Simon's brother being Grim Reaper in the comics. Not like he's the entity as Death, but like he's a supervillain whose name is the Grim Reaper.
Right.
So it was very interesting to see his brother there, and I think did his brother say that he was an insurance agent or something like that?
Yeah, he works for an insurance company.
Yeah,
he
and
just got promoted or something like that.
Yeah, and I thought that's also got to be part of the Easter egg here that the Grim Reaper is an insurance agent.
Yeah. I mean, I obviously don't think they plan to do anything with him, even though he was that kind of character where you definitely think that they could be this kind of villainous entity for sure.
Even though apparently he didn't shit on Simon when he could have to that one journalist.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was interesting.
It was. Yeah. And then we already talked about Doorman being an actual comic book character as well. And I'll be honest, when I saw the mask, it didn't really click until I saw like the Doorman mask, and I said, "Wait, is that Doorman?" So that was funny. That was funny. But no, all in all, man, like once I settled into what this show is and where they're going, I was able to ease into it and have a much better time with it. This is by far the most I've ever enjoyed the character of Trevor. And I don't know, maybe this is a hot take, but this is for me my second favorite superhero performance of Yahya Abdul-Mateen II.
You liked his Black Manta better?
I liked his Dr. Manhattan better.
Oh, yeah, okay, yep.
Yeah.
He does it in the animated?
No, he does it in the Watchmen TV show.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. I actually forgot about that. I was like, I know he's not in the Zack Snyder movie. But yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah. I was like, you liked Black Manta over this?
Oh my gosh, could you imagine?
Because now, dog, I'm gonna have to give you some pushback on that one.
Oh shit. And no, I think that this show really does provide a breath of fresh air, and not that I'm trying to take anything away from this show, but I think that its refreshing tone is really what's drawing so many people into this show. And I think that it's a fun show that feels like a buddy cop show without the cop element. It's a fun buddy show.
Right.
And there are some elements of it being like a very interesting character study, but I do wish again that they had maybe explored a little bit more of the character side of these characters, because at the end of the day, Simon Williams just really wants to be a great fucking actor.
Yeah,
and well known for his craft.
And I honestly loved the parts of this that were about that, right? Like seeing them like hone the craft. I thought it didn't feel hokey, obviously, until we got to the director's house and when it was meant to. You know, and it was like this is some shit that, you know, Quentin Tarantino, whoever would do.
Yeah, there weren't.
Paul Dano wasn't there.
Yeah, weren't enough feet in this for Quentin Tarantino either.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. He did have the thing where they had to take their shoes off.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he chose to take his shoes off.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But
and it worked because apparently, like, that was a test.
Yeah, apparently it was,
and he passed.
Yeah. That director was really fucking kooky. But no, I think that this show it really does have a lot going for it. I didn't have any expectations going into Wonder Man. I didn't know what to expect from it, to be honest. I just knew that it was going to feature Trevor in it as well. I thought that I guess I thought going into the show that it was going to be Wonder Man trying to balance the life of being an actor and a superhero, and finding out that balance is way more fucking difficult than he thought. But no, it's really just about him pursuing a career as a Hollywood A-lister. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just that I do think that maybe there is a such thing as stakes being too low, especially when you have superpowers.
Do you think that was the case here, though? I mean, because the stakes are life in federal prison at the end of the day.
They are that for an episode.
That's true, but also, like, never getting to, like, always being like a loser to your family and never getting to live out your dreams or whatever. Those are still big stakes.
So what I mean is this, like, those are low stakes for anything that's attached to a superhero property.
And kind of that's where I'm at, right, on this, is like, this is a horrible superhero show. Like, if you're looking for this to be anything close to a traditional superhero show, and I just mean this, if we're going back to, you know, let's just imagine, you know, Superman 74 or whatever being like the dawn of whatever. If you look at every superhero property from then all the way back until, you know, Richard Donner Superman. Yeah. How many of them have a villain that has the same or similar powers as the hero, or opposing powers? Yeah. How many of them end with the hero's big moment at the end is that he fights that villain? Yes. You know, the vast majority of them. Right. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. We love it. We opened this show talking about the Cosmere, and you know, spoiler, that's going to happen a lot.
For shizzle.
You know, but on that note, though, you know, this show chose not to do that. And so I think that if you're looking for a traditional superhero TV show, then you're going to be very disappointed. The fortunate thing that Marvel had is I don't think a lot of people are looking for that right now. I think a lot of people are looking for something that didn't slot into the formula, because the formula ain't working right now, especially because it ain't even the original formula. You know, most of the shit they're trying to get us to drink now is Pepsi. Yeah. You know? Yeah. It's like, oh, they're tired of Coke. Well, we'll just give them Pepsi. It's like, no, we don't like this at all. So I applaud them for doing something outside the box. Fortunately, I think it's brilliant. But I think, once again, if you're framing it, you know, if you're going to market this to nerds who want, you know, they want Wonder Man to fight the Grim Reaper at the end or whatever, you're going to be very disappointed.
Yeah. And I do just want to reframe something else here. It's not that I'm saying that it can only be in one box with the other, right? It can either be a traditional superhero TV show or something completely unique. I'm saying that it can be something in between those two things. Like, there is a realm where you can please both. It's not like you have to take this huge swing outside of the box that's something so completely foreign. They did, and for most people it worked. I'm saying for me it was a fun experiment, but the way I look at my superhero media is typically framed under the guise of, can I reverse engineer this into a comic book I would enjoy reading? And I wouldn't.
No, the answer is no here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But to be fair, it's been no with other like where they were trying to make a superhero thing.
For sure.
Like She-Hulk, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like that She-Hulk is a great comic.
Yeah.
You could not take what's in that show and reverse engineer it back into a book that anybody wanted to read.
Some ungodly monstrosity of what was a She-Hulk book. Yeah.
I'll be honest though, I would be interested in an 8-panel single page of the twerk. I just want to see how they animate that. Yeah. It's like the booty be up on this panel, then it be down, then it be up, then it be down. That would be funny to me.
Oh, shit.
For one page.
Yeah.
I would LOL at the one page. We could even do the Daredevil Walk of Shame on a page 2.
Oh, shit.
But that's it.
Yep.
That's all the juice.
God damn. But no, I do look forward to seeing what Wonder Man and Trevor get up to next. I think Marvel has to figure that out first.
Yep.
And then figure out how to get there. Would you like to see more superheroics from season 2?
Yes, I think by the nature of it, we have to have more. And I think it would be fine to have a villain now, like a proper villain, come into this. This is a famous individual, and now they're going to be on the run for breaking somebody out. So, like, honestly, like, the ideal, like, kind of person to send after this guy would probably be your kind of, maybe not him, but like a U.S. agent type person who isn't maybe necessarily evil.
Yeah.
But, like, their job is to bring in the protagonist, you know, and there's a lot you can do with that. And I think that would be good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd say they send U.S. agent, but he's going to get fucking rocked.
Oh, for sure. Unless he decides to bring Sentry with him.
Yeah. In which case, I think season 2 is going to be real short.
It's going to be real short, yeah.
Because it's basically like having Superman after you.
You're right, yeah. If he was,
insane.
Yeah. And a druggie.
I think one led to the other.
That's true.
I'm not sure which.
Yeah.
I don't know what came first, but.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Do we have anything else on Wonder Man before we give our scores here and wrap this beast up?
No, I think we're ready to go.
All right. Who goes first?
I think I went first last time.
Okay.
I think it's your turn.
All right. Wonder Man, I think, was a fun experiment, and it was one, again, that clearly paid off. Everyone and their mothers on the internet seems to really love this show, and I'm happy that so many people love this show. For me, I thought it was good in parts. It's not something that I would be quick to go back and revisit. And it's not even because it wasn't a traditional superhero show. I like that they did something different. It was that for me, they didn't really go far enough into anything else that was intriguing enough for me to feel attached to what they were presenting here. So I do wish that maybe they had gone a little bit deeper into these characters so I could feel more attached to them more, so that I could resonate with them a little bit more. But unfortunately, as it stands, I really couldn't. But I had fun watching them on their adventures, becoming better actors and getting casting calls and filming tapes and whatnot. I thought it was a fun time overall. The episodes individually, for the most part, I think that they are really fun. As a cohesive narrative, I don't have a whole lot to report for me. But still, the performances drive this thing home. Our 2 lead performances are tremendous in this. And I don't think anyone can really take that away from the show. And again, Marvel took another big swing, and it paid off in this instance. So that is also to be applauded. But at the end of the day, would I want something else quite like this? Probably not. But I definitely see the value in it though, and I understand why this show resonates with so many other people. If I think that this show had came out during the boom period of the MCU, do I think it gets the same attention? I don't.
I agree.
But with that being said, I think it's a fun show. I think it's absolutely fine. The performances by and far lead this thing. I give it a 7.5 out of 10.
Okay. All right. When I was in the middle of watching this show, I was like, man, it's possible that me and Ace could be as far away on this as we have ever been on anything. But that's not true. It didn't turn out to be the case. But I was like, I totally thought, because like we haven't talked about it at all until now. On air, this is like as we're finding out what each other thought about the show. I think I maybe hinted that I enjoyed it, but that's it. So I didn't know, man. I totally thought that we could have came in here and you'd be like, man, look at this dog shit Marvel done dumped on my doorstep again. The shit's piled high. But I think that this is an excellent product. I would like to see more things in the vein of this, and by that I mean thinking outside the box and getting outside of the traditional formulaic like kind of idea that doesn't work. This property feels, from the very first episode, different from all the other stuff we've gotten on Disney Plus in the MCU. And in much the same way that like WandaVision felt very distinct and like its own thing. And I mean that in a good way. Guess what, Marvel? You actually could make a traditional superhero show and still have really good writing and directing and chemistry between your leads and like take time to like develop the characters and all of that. I've seen you do it. Daredevil is a great example of that. As a matter of fact, a lot of the Defenderverse was good example of that. So it can be done, and I do want to see more things like this that break from the mold. Not to say that I don't want the mold, but maybe, instead of giving us 15 things that all fit into the mold, maybe we can get like 12, and then the other 3 can be, kind of unique. I think, in the same sentence as that, like Clayface, the rumor is that's going to be, a horror genre film. That's kind of what, I'm looking for here. Think outside the box. Winter Soldier very much was a thriller, and so you can tell these different stories across the spectrum. It doesn't all have to be action, adventure, whatever. I along with what you said, the chemistry between the two leads here cannot be understated. It is the strong suit of this show. I think that also it's maybe the funniest Disney Plus show we've gotten. A great deal of the humor lands, and it feels natural. The characters are all believable, and I like the arcs that it takes them on. If I have to, and I also, we didn't talk about this at all, but the soundtrack for this thing was dope as hell. Particularly like the end credits, like how they had a song that fit it at the end. They had a little Smallville style needle drop at the end of every one of these episodes. Yeah. And it was dope every single time. Yeah. And so I got to give it some points for that. I'm going to give this thing an 8.8 out of 10. Really enjoyed it. I thought it was, I've seen so many instances. Like I think that Eternals thought that this is what they were doing. I think She-Hulk, to an extent, thought that this is what they were doing. And they failed horribly over and over and over again. I think, to an extent, Iron Man 3 thought that this is what they were doing. We've seen so many times where these lowest common denominator Hollywood scripts, you end up doing something that they think is prolific and artistry, and it's really slop. And I think that this show is actually parodying that to a great extent.
Right.
And they have such a point here. And what that comes down to, though, and I think the reason that the thing that sets Wonder Man, aside from those properties I just mentioned, I don't think the people that made those things had any interest in making that thing. Like, I don't think Shane Black was sitting around going, I would fucking love to make an Iron Man film.
Right.
Marvel came to him, was like, here's a bag of money, and he was like, I'm going to do some different shit.
Yeah.
And it's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I think with Eternals,
Chloe Zhao.
Yeah. I think that she's tremendous at what she does elsewhere, like in other places. But I really think that in her mind, she was like, I'm making this fucking Shakespearean thing that just happens to have superpowered people in it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work. But this, I think that the people behind this, I think very much aimed to make this show not a direct, obviously Wonder Man adaptation, but that they wanted to take the essence of Simon as a character and then make something that reflected that. Mm-hmm. And I think they rolled a 20. I think it's a huge success. I don't know if we could get 10 more of these and they would be good. You know what I mean?
Right.
If we're gonna put them in the same pile as all the shit I just mentioned, this is definitely the outlier.
Oh, absolutely.
That's 8 out of 8.8. That's my score.
And I agree with a lot of what you said there. I think I would have enjoyed this more if it wasn't a show and if instead they made it a Marvel spotlight.
Yeah.
Because those, as you were talking, I was thinking about it, and like those Marvel spotlights, those are all very unique, and I enjoyed them all, and they were all very streamlined. Like, had those Marvel spotlights been stretched out in a miniseries, probably wouldn't have dug them nearly as much.
Yeah.
But because, I mean, for one thing, like obviously the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special is, it's goated.
Yeah, absolutely top tier.
Right. If they stretched that out to 6 or 8 episodes, I don't know if it would have still had that same kind of magic or allure.
A whole episode of Batista kidnapping Kevin Bacon probably wouldn't have hit.
Or it would have been the greatest thing ever. We don't know.
Yeah, we're not sure. And James Gunn can't tell us now.
Yeah.
So.
I'm a huge fan of the old school Universal horror, and so Werewolf by Night for me was a win on a couple of different platforms. But if Werewolf by Night had been a 6 to 8 episode venture, I probably wouldn't have dug it. But because it was condensed down to something that was more digestible and more streamlined and just right to the point. And like the thing about the Marvel Spotlight stuff is that they are non-traditional superhero content.
Right.
And I look at Wonder Man and I think, man, I would have loved to have taken the good from this and have been able to do something like that, but with Wonder Man.
I don't think they knew what to do with it, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it turned out, and I really hope that they take the right things away from this.
Right.
Kevin, I know you're watching the show, man. Kevin Feige, fan of the show,
I'm sure. Yeah, he definitely is a huge fan of the show.
Yeah, I texted him while I was watching this, and I was like, "Hey, man, listen, this is gangbusters. I know Iman done told you anyway, but
oh shit."
And then he texted me back and was like, "Yeah, people love Trevor.
Yeah.
Every time we use him, that's why we keep bringing him back."
Oh, yeah. Till he's 90.
Until he's fucking 90, which, I mean, he's got way less time.
That's very true. Ben Kingsley's like 70.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Well, before we get out of here, man, just really quick, we talked around this Daredevil Born Again Season 2 trailer.
Born Again.
Jessica Jones, we see her in the trailer.
Doing her cool little superhero pose.
Absolutely. Still got the same wardrobe. She refuses to spend money on clothes. So I love it.
Kristen Ritter just wears that.
That's probably true. Yeah.
She shows up the set in that, and it's in her contract.
Yeah. In action.
Yeah.
Is Luke Cage going to be here?
I think so, right?
Yeah.
They put this man on a panel.
They did.
Which is a weird thing to do if, Mike Coulter's not in the season.
They put him on the panel and then said something to the effect of, don't ask him about...
Daredevil.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a Daredevil panel.
Yeah.
But don't ask him if he's in season 2. Okay.
All right.
Well, we're just going to ask Vincent D'Onofrio then.
Yeah.
He'll tell us.
Oh, shit.
Speaking of, and this is spoiler territory, so fuck off if you don't want it for Doomsday. Do you see where Ian McKellen fucked up? It was like, I wiped out New Jersey the other day.
Oops, I probably shouldn't have said that.
I just Mark Ruffalo'd myself.
All right.
So we know Magneto's going to be on some shit. I'm really excited, actually.
Oh.
I think it's having the opposite effect. I think people who were, kind of worried are just kind of like, well, we're going to get to see Magneto fuck some shit up. So
yeah.
Sign me up.
Bruh. What the fuck happens that he decides to destroy New Jersey?
Well, it might not be his New Jersey.
That's true. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
What's that storyline where he flips the Earth's polarity and causes all them crazy ass tidal waves? And stuff?
Ultimatum.
Ultimatum. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So maybe he's just gonna do some shit like that.
Oh no! Please don't. Don't do that.
He just starts deleting 616.
Oh shit! Yeah. Let me tell you, man. If they do decide to do like an Avengers versus X-Men style movie, it would have been way more competitive had they did that 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
It's like, well, they do have a Sentry,
Yeah.
However, he's unstable.
Yeah.
It's like, you still haven't played Dispatch, have you?
No.
Okay. I'll leave it out then. But yeah, it's it's like having like a undependable wild card. You're like, should I really send you out, or are you gonna fuck shit up for me?
And they don't seem to have Storm, so that's problematic.
Which is weird, right? They got back all these people, but they couldn't get Halle Berry back.
Yeah, she still looked good as hell too.
Yeah.
Seen her the other day.
Where'd you see Halle at?
Oh no, just on it's like on comicbook.com or whatever.
The fuck are you doing that you're not telling me?
Not like I ran into her at the store. No, I think she was at the Grammys or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with somebody. Yeah.
I was gonna say we have to have a real long, hard discussion after this podcast is over.
I bet it will be a long, hard discussion.
All right. Okay. Well, I think that is the official sign to wrap this podcast up, folks.
When the dick jokes just start coming out, especially if it's just the two of us.
Yeah. That's the telltale sign right there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's gonna be all for this one, but homies. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed this. Have as much as we did. We had a lot to talk about because we haven't seen each other in such a long time.
Yeah, we actually talked about wrestling for 40 minutes before we came on the mics.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pre-podcast.
Right. If you guys wanted to hear that, well, too bad. Maybe you catch it next time.
Yeah.
But that's going to be all for now. We will see you guys again very soon, though. But until next time, my name is Superhero Homie Q.
I'm Superhero Homie Caleb.